How to effectively use AI in your business is a huge question that so many people are wondering about all the time. Recently, I just did an event where we were teaching business owners the 101 level of using AI in your business. And that's just really getting familiar with what is AI, how do we use it, how do we effectively make sure that it helps the business, how do we make sure that it doesn't just cause terrible problems in the business. And there's a couple of key takeaways that I really wanted to share with you today because I think that these are some critical foundation pieces that not enough people are talking about in the AI space. So the first one really relates back to experiences I've had, and I'm sure that you can probably relate. They're going to become more and more obvious in the near future. So I was trying to get a hold of a guy that he said, give me a call, we want to talk. And he had recently set up a new system, and it's pretty cool. You know how there's always been these answering trees, press 1 for this, press 2 if you speak this language, press 3 if you don't, blah, and then you press that. Then it takes you to the next phone tree, and you push 2, and then you push 4, and then you push 12, and 15 minutes later, you finally pushed every button on the keypad at least 3 times, and you finally get through, and then it goes to voicemail, and you don't get anybody. That's been the historical experience. Or then you wait on hold for a half an hour to get through to the support person that you're trying to get a hold of. Well, this guy, he's a one-man band in his business, and he didn't like that idea of people just going straight to voicemail. So instead, he went out and he got this state-of-the-art, really cool AI system. And so you have the AI answering bot, and you dial a call and it immediately goes to the bot. Like there's no chance for him to even pick up the phone, which one, that's a huge mistake. So it immediately goes to the bot, and the bot says, hi, what's your first and last name, please? Okay, tell it my first and last name. What are you calling about? So you tell what he's calling about. And then I'm like, hey, I want to talk to so-and-so. Well, I'm the AI answering service, and I'm going to let him know that you called, and then he can get back to you. And I'm thinking, what in the world? He's literally removed humans from being able to connect with humans. And not only that, but all he's done is now set up an obnoxious voicemail that takes 5 minutes before I can leave an effective message instead of the old school voicemail where it just said, hey, I'm not available, leave a message. So all that happened was they made it more annoying for me to leave a voicemail than it was before. Totally not helpful. Horrible. Another example, I was talking with someone and they were trying to pitch me on this amazing new tool where you can have these AI chatbots inside of your website. And he built this really cool AI chatbot just so that he can showcase it to me. And we pull up the chatbot, and the chatbot was programmed to know all these things. And then you just push this little button and start talking to it right in the website. And he thought it was the greatest thing ever. Well, I look at it and explore it, and it's giving generalized surface level information that any third grader would have known. And then he says, okay, thank you so much for helping out Jason today. Will you please finish with a joke? And the joke was really how bad AI was at creating jokes. It's like, oh man, you're from Idaho. Why did people move to Idaho? Because the potatoes are so good. And that was the joke. And I'm like, that is going to land people in the uncanny valley because the voice sounds realistic, but your gut tells you this thing is just wrong. Now, the uncanny valley is this concept that as robots get closer and closer to humans, there's this giant chasm between where we love it up to this point, and then it's this, we're terrified of it, and then it will be so humanistic that we won't know it's the human, but there's just giant gap in between. That AI system was resting right at the pit of that gap because it was so awful and yet seemed so real to talk to it. It seemed like a real human until you talked to it, and that was horrible. So what I'm trying to get at from both those stories is if you are going to use AI in your business, AI should facilitate more and better human-to-human interaction, not less. You need to, as a business owner, look at the parts of your business that can be compressed without harming the customer relationship. When you can use AI in a way that's going to allow us to better serve the customers, to give them better attention, to give them more human-to-human interaction that's positive and uplifting and strengthens that human bond, AI is going to be a superpower. When you use it in these awkward and nasty ways that leave people feeling just like ick on the inside, you're going to push customers away because they really don't need or want to deal with those kinds of situations. So that's one thought for you. And the second thought is make sure that the AI is not just spitting out generic garbage. Some people have called it AI slop. And it happens so often right now where AI is just regurgitating this like generic goo. And it's almost like it's taken in so much information, so much knowledge, so much stuff. And then it puts it all in this giant blender and pushes blend, and then you dump it out, and that's your response that you get from AI. And sure, it's got all the facts, all the information, all that, but it's been, all of the human element has been stripped out of it. All of that personalization of what the company stands for has been stripped out of it. It's generic garbage. AI doesn't have to be that way, but unless you specify and teach it how to interact, how it should talk, what the quirks are, what the personality is, what the soul of the business is, it's going to just dump, gulp, 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 that goop out on any interaction that it has. It is absolutely critical that one, AI is going to improve, strengthen, and allow for more human-to-human interactions, and two, that when it is doing its job, it's not glopping out this AI gloop that nobody wants to digest and consume. It needs to be personalized to the heart, soul, and personality of your business.